Mm.
Thai is on the list. Mexican food. Oof.
Pretty much
And
anything. Anything
pretty
that they're
much, I will
catering,
take anything.
you're going to
Yeah.
be there with some friends. And we
Yes.
ask everyone in ISO ISO Baby, we ask them, what's in your freezer?
What's in my freezer? There's a lot of Halo Top.
Ooh, okay.
A lot of Halo
That's
Top
good.
ice cream. And they make popsicles now, which I did not know before this whole quarantine. And those are magic. So there's a ton of
Everyone's
that.
becoming masters of dessert, I think, in this time. The
Fully.
sweet tooths are driving up.
Totally.
I heard a funny thing the other day. You're either going to become hunky, chunky, or drunky when you come out of quarantine. That's amazing.
You're a junkie. What are you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a mix of them all. I don't know what's going to work.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll take that as well.
Now, let's talk about your music, because on May the 8th, you surprised a lot of fans, a lot of people out there, 5 tracks. To sum it up, I would say brave. I would say
Thank
this
you.
piece of music was extremely brave. Did you feel that when you were writing it, recording it, and then releasing it?
Yeah, I think there was an element of that. I promised myself I would be as transparent as I possibly could, just for the sake of my own sense of self. It took a lot for me to sort of regain regain my sense of self after I'd gone through what I'd been through. And writing was such a huge form of release, and it was just a way through it for me. So, yeah, I don't know. When it came to releasing these records, I just felt like I accomplished what I set out to do, and being really honest with myself and speaking my truth. And that's something I think everyone's entitled to do.
I want to talk about a few of the songs. I Love Yous, how you were sampling Annie Lennox. How did that come about?
So this is so funny because I, in some form or another, said to myself, no more I love yous until I'm okay. Because I think I just hit this point of realization that the only thing that was going to make me feel okay again was time on my own without the distractions of another relationship. And then this song came about and just resonated with me on a different level, and had the most incredible sample of one of the most iconic songs. And it just was amazing to see it all come together so organically. But it's really an honor to have the Annie Lennox song as part of my own.
And then you also executive produced the video for that. I've got to talk about the dresses. Now, I don't know a lot about dresses, but they looked incredible. Did you choose those?
I did. So I co-directed the video as well. And I knew I wanted it to be, I knew it always was going to be in black and white. So when it came to choosing what I was wearing, it was really about, textures and patterns, and less about, obviously, the color and the smaller details. So yeah, I mean, we had a fitting that lasted hours, and somehow managed to get all of my favorite looks in the video. People ask me what my favorite look from the video is, and I truly cannot decide because they all made it in there. So yeah.
That's great. And also, and the LOVE. Now that was, you basically, Nat King Cole from 1965. A lot of people have sampled that song. A lot of people have heard that song. Where did that connection come from you? Because I know that you were looking for an acronym. How did that sort of correlation with that song come about?
Well, so yeah, I was looking for a word I could make an acronym, and somehow didn't get much further than love. But I thought, what if we made love stand for everything love is not? And then we just, I guess, started humming that melody, the lyrics that we had sort of come up with in that melody, and it just worked so seamlessly. Again, it was something that happened so organically. It was never really something we set out to do. It just kind of happened, and it worked.
And Wrong Direction, why did you decide that to be the last song of the EP?
I feel like that song really sort of grounds the project. The other songs on it, well, all of them represent, I think, pretty strong. There's really, it's not just one emotion that we feel when we go through any form of heartbreak or, loss. And these songs sort of represent everything from being super lonely and alone and, isolated and introverted to a little bit more confident and empowered to angry and pissed off and frustrated. And I think Wrong Direction sort of wraps it all up in that the first lyric of that song is, I don't hate you, I couldn't if I wanted to. And I love that that sort of, despite what I say in the other songs, is really what I mean at the end of the day. And again, I think it's just kind of the perfect little wrap up to the story. It's also, I don't know.
Here's a question for you. My question is, here's a question for you. What would Emily Dickinson say about the lyrics of Heartwritten Story Part 1?
Ooh! Shit, I don't know. I will say, Toby Huss, who plays Edward Dickinson on the show, sent me a message after he listened and said that he felt like Man Up was like a hybrid between me and an Emily poem. And I was like, that is so, what a compliment. I don't know what she would say. I hope she would dig it. That's all I'll say.
How does it feel now being, once again, an executive producer of a very successful show like Dickinson? What does that now bring when you go back into music production? What sort of confidence and what sort of skills is that going to bring for you when you're making music?
Well, one thing I've learned, I think, throughout my whole film and TV career is that, and I've realized this way more having produced the show, is that as a single artist, I truly am nothing without my team and without the people around me. And after having produced 2 seasons of this show, seeing absolutely everything, knowing before, obviously, I'll never forget the moment I saw my first film I did for the first time and watching the credits scroll till the very, very end. And I didn't move from my seat because I felt like I knew almost all of those people. And I was so excited and so proud, and for once realized how many people it takes to create something great. And now, again, having produced the show, I've seen that on a different level. And so with music, I think the same goes for music. I mean, it takes sometimes a village to make a song, or not even to just make a song, but to execute an entire vision and a whole story. And I don't know, I think I've just really learned to appreciate that.
Now, can you give myself, but also all the hardcore fans out there, just a little snippet of what's to come for Part 2? A headline for the fans. What would you say? Can you give anything away?
Isn't my dog cute?
Your dog is cute, yes.
Thank you. I really feel like music for me has just been this constant experimental process, and it's so fun. I find the more I do it, obviously, the more I do it without simultaneously making a show or a movie. There's so much I learn, and there's so many things I feel like I dig deeper and deeper into, and that's really what I'm doing right now. So I know I've said this time and time again, but I truly, now more than ever, am so excited and proud of what I'm working on. And I feel like it's getting closer and closer to what I've always imagined it being. And I just am really looking forward to everyone to hear it.
Well, you know who loves you? Your fans. They've been asking a lot of questions. We had so many throughout the day today. So, guys, thank you so much for all the questions. They've slid into our DMs, and I've got their questions here. The first one's from Steinfeld Style. What's your favourite lyric from Half-Written Story?
Ooh. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Probably... That's hard. I don't know. I actually thought maybe I had it for a minute, but did they say theirs? They probably didn't, because it was just a question, huh? I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't know if I have a favorite lyric. I feel like, as far as I can barely pick a favorite song. So to pick a favorite lyric is like, I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know.
All right, fans, you're not getting an answer to that one. This comes from NK Boots. Would like to know, who have you worked with that has been transformative or inspirational to you?
In general or in music?
Let's just say in general. NK Boots didn't define it, so let's just say in general.
Okay.
Across all the projects, even in life, at home, wherever.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I mean, I don't have to look much further than my own family. I think there's so much motivation and discipline within the 3 members of my immediate family, and I am truly so inspired by it every single day. Between my mom and dad's work ethic and, like I said, discipline, creativity, and passion and kindness. That's where I get it from. So
NK Boots just said outside of your home.
really,
Who's been inspirational outside of your home?
That's so funny. Okay,
No. I just in case. I've got to protect the fans. You know,
of course. I would say maybe Jeff Bridges. I worked with Jeff Bridges on my first movie, and along with just about everyone else I worked with on that movie, I feel like there are so many things that I'll do, honestly, in my everyday life, but mainly with my work, where I almost remind myself of that experience because I know I'm doing things I picked up from them. I found it so incredible that all they truly care about at the end of the day is doing what they love and making it the best it can possibly be, for them and no one else, and for everyone involved. But it was just amazing to see these people come to work every day, have the absolute most fun, but take it seriously and create the best art that they could, go home to their families and do it all over again. I constantly refer back to that experience.
Our next question comes from Dio Fabulous. What's your secret for keeping your skin beautiful?
Ooh, honestly, I don't got any secrets. If anybody's got any pointers, I don't know what's going on with my skin. I literally have been doing nothing, and it's like freaking out. But I will say, I drink a ton of water, which always helps. Wear sunscreen, and I stay out of the sun, which is a very hard thing to do in California. But somehow, I'd say about 75% of the time, I manage to do it.
There's the tips. We like that. Hailey in red said, do you have any embarrassing audition stories?
Whoa! Of course I do. Any embarrassing auditioning stories? Let me think. There was one. This was, oh man, I had to have been, God, maybe 9, 10. I don't even remember. And I don't even remember what it was for. But the breakdown was very specific in the appearance of this character, that she wore a lot of super dark makeup, dark clothes, hair in her face, sort of, I don't, the term goth was in there, and there were like references, and it was a whole thing, right? So I was like, okay, I loved the material, felt really good about it, and I was like, all I got to do is take to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Just like follow the guidelines here. So I never wore makeup really, and wasn't really all that into it. And so I had my mom help me. I just remember I looked in the mirror, didn't even recognize myself, turned beet red with all this horrible black makeup on my face, on my eyes. And I went in and did the audition, and I just remember not even being able to like deliver the lines because I did not feel like myself. I was so distraught with what I was seeing in the mirror that I just couldn't deliver. Needless to say, it didn't end well. Didn't get the job. But
I was hoping for the dream end there. We're like,
imagine. I wish.
This question comes from BRL Marine. Are there any collabs in part 2? Obviously, there were none in part 1. What about part 2?
TBD. I will say I feel like I've been collaborating with some amazing writers and producers that I think my fans will be excited to see. But as far as features and whatnot, I guess you're going to have to wait and find out.
I thought you were going to talk to Martini again.
Yeah,
whenever you get out of a
so.
conversation, get to Martini. All right. Nobody leaves here without playing a very quick game with us. So this is called Half-Written Steinfeld Story. So, got a little storybook here.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to begin some lines, and you've got to finish off the lines of the story for me. These should be pretty easy because it's all about your life. Okay. Chapter 1. Today was hands down the most hilarious day on set of Pitch Perfect 2. Rebel Wilson had us all in stitches because...
Because... Am I making this up, or is this a real thing?
It can be whatever. It can be fiction or non-fiction.
Rebel had us all in stitches because we were all in a pile of mud, but somehow Rebel ended up digesting some of the mud, and it didn't end so well, if you know what I mean.
The end. Chapter 1. Thank you, Hailey. Chapter 2, we're going to move on to, I just finished a scene as Emily Dickinson where everyone mocks her for not being able to cook. We all know that's not true in the real world, because once people try my they say it's
Once people try, ooh, see, this is trouble, because I don't, Once people try my cereal ratio, it is absolutely, positively life-changing.
What's your latest cereal combination at the moment?
I did a little Frosted Flake Cheerio combo. Wasn't bad. Hadn't done it before. Not my fave, but it wasn't bad.
We're going to move on to chapter 3. I just wrapped Taylor Swift's Bad Blood music video, and the most memorable thing about the experience definitely was...
The most memorable thing about the experience was... the imprints on my body that felt like they lasted 6 years because my suit that I had on was so incredibly tight.
Was it uncomfortable?
Incredibly uncomfortable, but it was so badass and so sick, and there were 3 of me, so no complaints.
I love the sacrifices you make sometimes.
You know?
It's like when women wear high heels, I'm like, you're sacrificing every day.
Truly.
Chapter 4, Hailey. This is a great read, by the way, everybody. A very good book. Chapter 4. I was most surprised by the public's reaction to my single because...
I was... what was the beginning sentence?
I was most surprised by the public's reaction to my single insert because... insert.
Okay, to my single Love Myself, because nobody got it for the longest time.
How long were we talking?
Like, years. I mean, I talk to people that are like, I literally just picked up on the fact, and I'm like, okay, listen, to each their own, you know? Art is up for interpretation.
I like that. Chapter 5, Hailey. I couldn't stop laughing, only because it reminded me... What's that beeping noise? Is that me or you?
All right, it's me.
Okay. Chapter 5. I couldn't stop laughing, only because it reminded me of the naughtiest thing I did as a kid, which no one except my best friend knows about until this moment.
No!
Chapter 5. It's a juicy chapter, everybody.
The end.
Anything when you were a kid? Were you a naughty kid? Were you a cheeky kid? Were you very well behaved?
I mean, I had my moments, but I was pretty well behaved for the most part.
And we're going to finish this off, ladies and gentlemen, with HAILEE STEINFELD, the final chapter. No, it was chapter 5. That was the final chapter.
Ooh!
You're done. Well done. I enjoyed that.
Thank
HAILEE
you.
Steinfeld, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Sorry.
Also, thank you, Martini, for joining us. Thank you for the selection here for the full
you've inspired
story.
me.
Yeah,
I'm doing a... What's that?
Doesn't taste too bad with a cinnamon stick.
Really?
Make sure it's
Okay.
a flaming one.
You got it. This weekend. I know what I'm doing.
Hailey, thank you so much for the amazing music. We look forward to part 2 and all your other projects as well, and enjoy the rest of Isolation.
Of course. Thank you so much. You too.
Thank you.